The goal on the NX radios was really to create the next generation of DX radios.
The NX needed to take the best modern bits it could from the IX, but stay true to the DX form, function, and price point.
And I feel like that's really what the NX series embodies. We've taken a lot of feedback over the years from the DX radios, the IX radios, and we said, okay, this is what the beginner pilot, the intermediate pilot really needs and what they want.
There are a lot of people, I think, that like DX radios. They don't feel the need for an IX. I think this kind of helps close that gap a little bit.
We needed to bring out our best features and be price conscious throughout, which was tough. The architecture is ultimately unique because it's a fully embedded device with an onboard GUI and not a separate operating system like the iX20.
So when we went to the G3, we used a much more capable processor with a floating point unit and things like that.
Now having USB charging is, you could just take your phone charger, or a lot of our new smart chargers have USB ports on them. So even while I'm at the field charging batteries, I could just plug in my radio if I need to.
To make it, what more people expect from a modern consumer electronic device. Plug in your USB cable. It should be pretty brainless and easy to find cords for.
With the NX6 in particular is the added 7th channel. When you have like a safe select plane that's already using 6 channels, you have that extra channel to be able to turn on and off functions that are like a 2-position or a 3-position function.
Yeah, it has the external port on the back as well. So any of the guys that use external modules will be able to do that now.
You've got USB mass storage, so you don't need an SD adapter or anything anymore. And you can also use it as a simulator, so it has a really powerful USB interface.
We've preloaded all of our model presets into the update. So when you get your NX radio, it's going to have every single bind and fly airplane already preloaded into the memory of the radio.
With a very familiar roll and click interface of the DX radios.
The foldable antenna, the antenna orientation is very important. And then obviously it helps a lot with transportation too. It reduces the overall length of the radio for storage.
Make it easier to register, to download updates.
Not having to plug into a computer to update, just kind of connecting to a router, registering it directly on the radio.
And make programming of a model easier wherever we could. Just things like that make the system very easy to use for our customer. So that's really what the goal was, to replace the DX line. Dave McAllister, our engineering manager, he was working with me and the engineering team to work through who's going to work on it when and priorities, and also just helping with developing of the features, making sure things were right and developed right.
Yeah, basically I coordinate and manage all the engineering staff that handles projects like the IX and the NX. Receivers, all the cool tech that we get to do with the Spektrum team. Danny Snyder, he's the product developer for almost all of our air products in the Spektrum team. He's the master of the schedule, coordinating really tightly with every group. Engineering, sales, marketing.
Kind of the one that keeps us pointing in the right direction. He's kind of the guiding direction, so to speak.
He says what goes and what doesn't. We just give him the information he needs to make those decisions.
He's a voice of the customer and a product expert, and so he's really key to, qualifying what is an NX. So it was really a team effort from start to finish. Miguel ALVAREZ, he does a little hardware and software. In particular, he became our Wi-Fi guru.
90% of my job is actually writing firmware. And then the 10%, because you design a circuit and then there's just so much development you have to do these days for the actual code that just takes up a big chunk of my time. He definitely split hardware and software teams in terms of, and is that kind of cross-functional expert on the team who helped get it done. Andy Coons was leading most of the software development.
He is the most knowledgeable and most intimately familiar with the code. So a lot of questions were directed at him. It's like, okay, what am I doing here? What do I need to do?
I've worked for Horizon since 2008. Enjoyed every minute of it. It is still as exciting as it was on day one.
He's kind of Mr. Airware.
I was just a small part of a team. It's more than just any one person here on the team could handle. We really are working a lot more as a team in the NX line.
Our team already has some remote employees. Robert Lemon, for example, who worked on this project as well. It has always been remote.
Yeah, I was working remotely before working remotely was cool. But towards the end of 2019, I moved out west here to Idaho. So I've been working remotely since then.
So a lot of the software features that customers interact with, Robert is a huge part in it as well, and he's a major role in the IX. So you kind of put Andy represents a little bit of the older stuff that we've done, and brings up a huge legacy and history with him. And Robert's been, as a newer employee, who's been involved on all the IX radios. So you kind of putting those two guys' heads together for the NX. And especially in the Spektrum core team, a lot of experience working remotely, and the transition honestly wasn't that bad.
A lot of the completion things, the polish and the reliability enhancements that we've put in have been done during this pandemic time.
When your home space and workspace intersect, we create this lovely thing where everyone's availability is super high.
Now I can be at work in the morning when I'm ready to be at work in the morning, which is usually an hour or more before anybody else shows up.
But maybe a little bit more than you'd want sometimes, but when you really need to get it done, it's actually been great.
Obviously, I do a lot of this stuff as a hobby, as you can tell by the environment. What I do at work, electronic design and code, I do that sometimes as a personal hobby. Normally you have special equipment at work that you need to work with to do stuff, and I kind of just had most of that already here.
It was honestly pretty seamless. Definitely some I would say logistics problems for some of the biggest stuff.
We also had to travel around a lot whenever it came to getting a sample from myself to one of the engineers or vice versa, just.
If I need to hand a product to someone else, I can't just walk across the office or something.
Now, instead of standing up and looking over the wall to see what is going on Miguel's desk and asking him if he's busy or something like that, now I can hit him on the computer and we can have a conversation there.
IT type, hurdles at first, just making sure getting things up and going, but for the most part, get the ball rolling and moved forward.
Their ability to communicate digitally and online and using modern tools, and in some cases, old school, get behind the wheel and bring it to someone where needed, we were able to get it done.
It's good to be able to deliver something to the customer that they want. This radio line is something that I'm actually pretty excited about. They are for me, and it's really great because now we have a product that people are asking for. It's a future, it's got so many capabilities for the future. I'm excited about it.
It's been a long process, as most transmitter developments are, particularly 3 transmitters all developed all together. So it's a lot of work, a lot of effort, and we're definitely excited to get it on the market.
Long nights are over, and you're just waiting to hear what people have to say about it.
Customers get their hands on it and let us know their feedback.
And then the feedback rolls in. There's always a bit of nervousness and excitement.
And we will definitely be reacting to that feedback as quickly as we can with potential feature updates and any corrections that might need to be made along the way. We're primed and ready.